Yep.
So that's a good point.
When I say air raid, I shouldn't say air raid. What I mean is the offense is just going to execute, like Chris said. Like they're gonna, it's just going to be a better overall offense. We're going to run. We're going to utilize our tight ends. Going to be a lot of 12 personnel. We're going to throw to our guys downfield. I mean, it's a bunch of everything. So, that's what it's going to be, and it's just going to be way better. I think we're going to all be very happy with what we see, and that's what more could you ask for, man? Honestly, so
for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Well, like I said,
Chris,
we'll see what happens.
Do you want to move on to recruiting?
Sure, you move on. Wherever you want to start, let me know. Like position, a year, whatever.
Yep. So recruiting wise, we talked to Chris quite a bit, and kind of mixed reviews from Chris on the recruiting. There's some guys he wanted them to go after that they're not, but we're also getting interest from some other guys. Keemon Spell, still think he's coming to Penn State. Khalil Taylor looks like he's good. A lot of the guys from this past weekend had very good things to say about the staff, Penn State, and they had fun at the hockey game. Taylor Mauser and Clanton, they were smashing beers on their heads in the stands. I think they were with the recruits. So,
right. That's
to me,
cool.
that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Frankie Boy would have been standing there in his aviators just looking around. So
he would have been drinking a wine cooler.
Yeah. So what do you think about the latest on the recruiting trail?
Well, it's just their philosophy is different, but let me just start off with Spell, because I'm sure that's what everybody wants to know. So here's the thing with Spell, and nothing has changed. In my opinion, everything regarding Spell centers around his reclassification. If my understanding is, if Spell reclassifies, it's Penn State. He cannot, and I don't understand how the education, state laws, and all that work, but for whatever reason, if he reclassifies, he has to go to an in-state school. He can't skip his senior year, reclassify, and go to like a Georgia or Notre Dame. He has to go to an in-state school, which was very smart on Penn State's parts to pitch that, okay? Also, I was told, and, sometimes this is like, word of mouth, second, third hand sources from person to person. But I was told by a guy who's, pretty knowledgeable and we'll just say has a relative that's very connected, that said everything that Spell's family has asked for, Penn State has given them. The money, the reclassification, everything they asked for is in place for Spell. Now, everybody's up in arms, upset that Spell did not make the trip last week to Penn State. We had that big snowstorm, and yes, snow didn't come till Sunday. The visit was supposed to be a Saturday. I don't know what to read in that. Now, reports are, if they're valid or if this is just Spell saying it, reports are he didn't make the trip because of the weather. All right, there could be 101 reasons why a kid doesn't make a trip. You know what I mean? Kelvin Morrison, the other running back, was also supposed to come last weekend. He didn't come because his father works as, I don't know what he does, but because of the snow, because of the weather, his father got called into work. So I don't know if his father works for some borough or municipality where he's got to go plow snow or whatever. But there's all these things that you never know what the reason is. There's no need to panic yet, okay? Spell has visited Penn State probably hundreds of times. I'm exaggerating, but a number of times Spell has visited Penn State. He knows everything there is about Penn State. Campbell, Huggins, Smith, Terry Smith have all visited with Spell. They've all been in his house. They've all hashed out what they're offering him, what's going on. So he knows the coaches very well already built a relationship with them. He already knows Penn State through and through. So does he really need to come to Penn? Now, I'm not saying it's not nothing. Maybe in the end it is. I'm not saying Penn State's a lock for Spell. I just wouldn't jump the gun here on because he didn't make a trip. All right. He was in Athens, Georgia. Now he did this past weekend, he was in Georgia. Here's the interesting thing, and this is why I'm saying don't jump the gun. Spell has told Steve Wiltfong, who's national recruiter, and Brian Doan, I assume, but Steve Wiltfong, that, Penn State's in a great spot, but Penn State, they're still not ahead of Georgia. He made it clear that Penn State's still not ahead of Georgia. Even though he said Penn State's still not ahead of Georgia, Steve Wiltfong and Brian Doan both put crystal balls in for Keemon Spell to come to Penn State. So read between the lines here. Like, why would am I still okay? Like, why would if you're telling one of the top national recruiting guys that Georgia is ahead of Penn State, but that national recruiting guy still puts a pick in for Penn State, that's saying something to me. So to me, it's all about the reclassification. I think that they were trying to push this reclassification to get it done pretty quickly because supposedly things were moving really quick. Maybe he didn't have enough credits yet to do the reclassification. So what I'm hearing now is watch for him to enroll in the summertime. This is not a lock for Penn State. I'm not saying it's going to happen. If he reclassifies, though, I would look for him to graduate his junior year in June and enroll sometime after that in the summer at Penn State. I still feel good about Penn State, but it's far from a lock. Everything hinders on the reclassification as far as that goes. Do you guys want to add anything, or do you want me to keep?
Yeah, Chris. So I commented on his story because he said "Go Dogs." He was at Georgia. I said, "Nah, man, Penn State," with like the lion emoji, and he laughed at it. I've talked to him a couple times, just like briefly, but he just laughed at my comment and didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But I thought that was funny because he's just entertaining this whole thing. He likes the attention. He does. He's a kid. He's getting a lot of attention. But he seems pretty positive, and we'll see if we get him or not. Like you said, there's no reason for Steve and Brian to put that in unless they know more, right? They're not just going to put something in early for no reason. So,
right. Yeah.
You see this this BS on the right here? This Notre Dame is high at 8, and we're 50-50 crystal ball. Did you see that?
Yeah. Well, those are different timelines too. That's what after Frankie Boy was fired, and
you have to, when you click on the crystal balls, you got to look at when they put them in. It'll tell you the date.
Okay.
The dates, yeah.
Like on the right hand side, if you click down below the predictions, it'll open up and then see when they put them in.
Yeah.
It should see where it says the date there.
Notre Dame's from a long time ago, right? Like months ago. Yeah.
Yes, this is all Penn State, a Penn State Georgia battle right now.
Yep.
And here's the thing with this. Like, I'm not one of these guys that calls kids divas or this or that. Even if they are diva, listen, it's his decision to make. If there's money involved, and I do believe the money is there from the Penn State side. Like, I'm not a guy that's going to call a kid a diva or get all salty if a kid doesn't pick Penn State. He can do whatever he wants. It's his choice to make. It's not his choice to make to appease any fan base. You know what I mean? So the reason he would visit other schools is because what if by chance this reclassification doesn't go through? Like what if he does maybe like Georgia a little bit more, but if the reclassification, he'll choose Penn State. Listen, I'm a diehard Penn State fan. If I'm a top recruiting target, or if I have a kid, I'm telling him take all the visits. I'm trying to take all the visits. I'm going to tell him to get all the offers he could, NIL-wise, compare them all. There's nothing owed to, like, recruits owe nothing to anybody. I don't care if you're a hometown kid or not. The dumbest, and I know people won't like me saying this, the dumbest thing I hear in recruiting every time, in every single college, I remember when Butch, whatever his name was, the coach of Tennessee, said, and if you're from Tennessee, Tennessee players stay at Tennessee. If you're from Penn State, or if you're from Pennsylvania, you stay in Pennsylvania. You can go wherever you want, man. You can go wherever you want. It's your life. There's a ton of money involved. I'll be pissed if we don't get them. but that kid has a right to go wherever he wants.
Yeah.
So, but
as long as he
anyways,
doesn't go to Ohio State or Notre Dame, I don't care where he goes. Yeah.
well, it's not going to be Notre Dame. They're going after.
No.
Or, I mean, it's not going to be Ohio State. Notre Dame had a chance, but right now it's all Penn State, Georgia.
Well, I'm saying in general for any big player, they can go anywhere they want as long as it's not Notre Dame or Ohio State, because we're Penn State fans and we hate both those teams. So
yeah, no, I hate them, but
I hate them.
They're going to get some of them. Unfortunately, that's just how, especially Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I'll say this:
Grayson McHugh, yep, all those guys.
Chris, I don't know what you think about Ohio State right now. Not to get it too off subject, but real quick, like Ohio State, man, like the fact that they didn't get Chaz Coleman, they didn't get Keemon Spell, or they probably won't get Keemon Spell. I mean, I don't know. It's like it's kind of weird that these kids, like those two guys in particular, aren't considering Ohio State more.
I know exactly what happened with Chaz Coleman there. I can tell you exactly what happened. So, JR, the guy I do the Big Ten huddle with, he's an Ohio State guy, and he's connected, knows some guys with that runs the Ohio State Collective, and he told me, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but like Chaz Coleman was all Ohio State, they're all ready to go, and it was something along the lines of, I don't know if it's a 2-year deal. I think it was like for the next 2 years, they're offering him $2 million. But his camp wanted $2.5 million, and Ohio State didn't want to budge and go any higher than the $2 million, where Tennessee did. First it was like $2 million for 2 years. He wanted $2.5 million for the 2 years, or $1 million for the 1 year, however you want to break it down. And I believe it's something like Ohio State was offering $1 million for 1 year, $2 million for the 2 years. He wanted either 1.5 for 1 or 2.5 for 2. Ohio State didn't want to go the extra $500,000, and Chaz Coleman did. It's all money now. Listen. That's what I'm saying. It's all money. Like Chaz Coleman's a perfect example of like where people would call kids a diva. There's probably Ohio State guys saying he's a diva, this or that. Oh, he's not worth it. No, man, $500,000 is a lot of money. Like when Chaz Coleman was at Penn State, he was the most humble player there was. There were stories about Franklin saying he would stay after practice and help the janitors and the equipment guys pick up equipment. When Franklin was going, saying, like, do you think, red shirt, what are you? Yellow light, green light, red. Like, what do you think you are yourself? And he said red or something like that. And everybody, like, he's the most humble, quiet kid there is. But because a kid goes and does what's best for himself and to make significantly more money somewhere as opposed to another school, that doesn't make him a bad kid or a diva. Like, I don't know. I just hate when people say that. And it's every fan base. They all say stupid shit. But that's what I know about Coleman. It was the difference of $500,000, which, it's a lot of money. Is it everything? No. But that's why he went to Tennessee.
You talk about Chaz, right? Chaz Coleman.
Yeah, Chaz Coleman.
Yeah, dude. That's the thing. Like a lot of fans, and we on this show, we don't bash players. Like we really try not to bash players. A lot of them are kids. Like we forget, man. Like Keemon Spell, like he's a kid. Like he is young. He looks like 16. A grown man, but he's young. So yeah, that's great to hear about Chaz, and I wish him the best, man. Like it sucks that he left, but I'm like, you go do you, man. Like best of luck. It sucks that he left, but yeah. And then Khalil Taylor seems happy, Chris. But between last weekend and this weekend, had a pretty solid visit weekend overall. Keemon wasn't able to make it, but like you said, he's been here a million times. We're good there.
Yeah.
Khalil Taylor was here. He was happy. Khalil Taylor's my guy. Like right after, I forget, and Chris, it's funny. The first time you came on here, it was after we lost to UCLA. That's the first time you came on. And I was watching it the other day, and we were just like baffled. Like if he's not fired after this, I don't know. But I think it was after UCLA, I did an episode on like a Tuesday night, and it was about guys decommitting. And I was so mad because I'm like, I knew this was going to happen. And I didn't blame the kid. I don't know how Franklin ever got anybody to come here, especially a big-time receiver. Like Tyzier Denmark went down there.
Yeah.
But guys were decommitting, and I was like, please decommit. Like, you deserve way better. But I was just mad because they were decommitting. And Khalil Taylor's one of those guys that decommitted, and Brett knows, like, I was mad because I like Khalil Taylor. I want him to come to Penn State. And now that he's actually possibly back here now, it's pretty crazy. And then we got the 2028 corner, and Terry was with the number 127 corner recently. So they're putting in the work.
Yep. Got a pair of linebackers crystal ball to us. So, yeah, it's going on.
So here's what I'll say about Khalil Taylor. So when he did commit to Penn State originally, he was like, he is how I said, like, you know, just because you're from a certain state doesn't mean you have to go. But certain kids, that means something too. You know, they grow up watching whatever, you know, you grow up in Michigan, you grow up watching Michigan, you're in Pennsylvania, you grow up watching. When he committed to Penn State, I remember at one point, after he committed, while Franklin was still here, someone asked Taylor about something about, like, how locked in is he? And Khalil Taylor said he won't even take phone calls from any other schools. Said, I'm not even taking phone calls from other schools. Like, I won't even entertain any, not even a conversation from another school. Obviously, when shit fell apart, he had to do what he had to do. So I do feel very good about Khalil Taylor. I do believe, I did read he's at, like, a camp out in Indiana now. I don't know if it's this weekend or sometime recently. But they're still going to take other visits. But I do feel pretty strongly about Khalil Taylor. I'll tell you a guy that's sliding a little, and he's a perfect example of a guy that is just all, like, great testing numbers, but football wise, like, just fundamentals maybe not all there, is Matthew Gregory. Matthew Gregory's a speed demon. He's a 10-4 guy, and you watch his film.
That's crazy.
And Khalil Taylor is similar, but I think Khalil Taylor has a little more. Everything to me is, obviously you need a receiver. You want it to be a certain, have decent size. You want him to have good speed. But after that, everything is route running. You got to know how to beat man coverage. You have to have the nuances to just have different moves in your route to beat your man. A quick double move, a stutter and go, threaten your guy vertically. You get the DB leaning one way with a quick jab step while you break the other way. And these guys are such great athletes and so fast, like a Taylor and like a Matthew Gregory, that they don't have to rely on, like, those type of route running moves, because they could just run by everybody in high school. And that's what Matthew Taylor did, and to a degree, that's a lot of what Khalil Taylor did. I think there's more. I think Taylor shows a little more route running ability. But I saw this in Gregory for a while. I'm like, man, he's a speedster. But I always look for them. What are they doing in their routes? Andrew Olish was the best route running tight end I've ever seen. You want to watch good route running, whether you're a receiver, tight end, watch Andrew Olish's film. But like, are you making a sharp break? How are you setting your DB up? Are you just taking off and going down the field, or you're just outrunning everybody? Are you just run into an open? You got to be able to beat guys. So, but I do feel good in Taylor, and a guy that I really like. I called this guy out months ago. Cade Cooper, the Malvern receiver. I love Cade Cooper. He's probably not as fast as Taylor or Gregory, but he's right up Campbell's alley. And Cade Cooper just got an offer from Notre Dame, but he's right up Campbell's alley. He's 6'2", big-bodied receiver. He looks to have good speed. He actually and I'm not saying he's going to be as good as this. You know, I notice when I here in certain places, if I do a comp, like, people think I'm trying to say they're the exact same player, and that's not what a comp is. But he kind of reminds me of an Allen Robinson type. Big-bodied receiver, but he understands. He shows some of those nuances of route running, like I'm saying. Like, he does a good job of making a quick break one way just to get the DB leaning and breaking the other way. He could go up and high point the ball. He's very good at tracking the ball. and he has very good body control when he goes up and tracks the ball. So he's a big body receiver.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, so I'm very, very high on him. And believe it or not, I think Cade Cooper is like the number one receiver on their board, maybe even above Taylor from what I read. So and he loves Penn State. He says he's just a perfect fit for Penn State. So if we could get Khalil Taylor and Cade Cooper, that's great. And then whoever you get after that is a bonus. Samson Gash, I had no idea Samson Gash was as fast as that, man. Did you guys?
Yep. He's fast.
Do you want to play that? That clip I showed you, if it's on your phone, do you want to play it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can find it.
I'm going to email it to myself or Instagram it, and then I'll pull it up. Yeah.
So they're saying that Michigan State's, it's going to be hard to, well, Sean Fitz said that he thinks, he's probably staying at Michigan State, but we'll see. I mean,
what was another? Franklin screwed it up again. Now, honestly, it's probably I don't know, man. Like he would have decommitted anyways because it fell apart. But so Samson Gash, for the people that don't know, Sam Gash's son. He's committed. We slow rolled him. Didn't really offer him because when Franklin was there, he had other receivers ahead of him. Supposedly, when he's at Penn State, he looked decent camping, but he didn't look as good as some other players, other receivers. Then he blew up. He blew up his senior year, senior year. He blew up. I just saw a clip of him. Sometimes you watch film and guys look like they're just speed demons, but they're not as fast as they look. Then it's the other way around where a guy looks like he has okay speed, and then you see what his actual time is, and he's a lot faster than what he looked. Samson Gash has the 100-meter state record. He has the 100-meter state record for Michigan, running a 10.41. I had no idea he was that fast. Like, his film, he looked like he had good speed, but I did not see a 10.41. Mark could put it up here. It's probably going to take a second. I emailed it to him, but you guys can see it for yourselves.
Did you know that Journey Brown ran a 10.1 and he still has the state record in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I knew. I didn't know what it was, but I know Journey Brown was a state record holder. I thought somebody beat him recently, like some white kid. Well, I don't know if it was like Ethan Black or so. I thought there was some white kid that came close to beating him after that, but maybe that was the 60-meter. I don't know. I could email it to you, Mark, if you need me to.
No, I got it.
All right.
Yeah, I just pulled it up on. Shoot, sorry, hold on. I pulled it up on.
If anybody has any questions for me, you could shoot me a question. I can't. Here it is.
I don't know if you guys can hear the sound or not, but it doesn't matter.
Nah, no volume yet. If you have volume, it'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try here. My headphone keeps dying.
He's in lane 5. He's standing up wearing the white tank top. Like when you're looking at the picture right now, he's the kid standing up wearing the white tank top. Pretty sure that's him.
Oh, hold on.
There you go.
Yep.
Can you guys hear it or no?
Yeah.
You had it for a second there.
Good.
There you go. Might have to turn it up a notch, but you got it. All right, you're good. You're good. That's him in the white tank top.
Yep. He's about to pass.
10.41 100-meter dash, state record.
There's some other really fast guys there too.
Yeah. Well, I think it was the state finals.
Yeah.
But if you let it play through and talk about, that's fine. But so he ran a 10.41 there.
I'll say, as someone who ran track, man, that's not easy.
Like, there you go. Detroit Catholic 10.41.
4.2s. That's 4.5. Those are all good. Yeah. Good
yeah,
times.
This had to be the state finals, I would imagine.
Yeah, because those are good times, man. Then there's a big drop off from 4.5 to 6.8. Penn
Thank
State's
you,
still fast,
Lavery.
but
But anyways, that was it. I just want you to see the scoreboard there, these guys, and you know,
yeah,
10-4-1.
That's impressive.
Like
Very fast.
I watched his film. He looked good and he looked fast, but I did not think he was that fast, man. That's flying. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be a tough poll because look, you know, you got Michigan State, who was, you know, hometown is Michigan. He's from Michigan. Michigan State showed him the love early. They offered him early. They've been on him the whole time. Their NIL's never been great. Now, Michigan State's, the Phoenix Suns owner is a Michigan State grad, and he was the guy that was a big, one of their big money guys for NIL. I don't know how much the guy's still involved. Like, I don't know if it's every year, but when you're with a school early, they show you the love from day one. They offer you day one. You commit. They're on you the whole time. They're, you know, they offer. His brother's committed to Michigan State, and then all of a sudden Penn State comes in. The new staff comes in the last second because the old staff didn't offer. That's going to be hard. He did come for a visit last week. I don't think he was with all the other guys, but he did come from a visit. It was your typical good visit. We'll try to, you know, see where it goes from there. But he's got to make a decision soon because just, you know, people know he's a 2026 kid. So he's got to make a decision this next week. Probably going to be hard to get. What's that?
5 days.
5 days.
He's got, right? Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So he's got to make a decision pretty quick. It's, you know, I haven't heard anything since his visit. So it's probably going to be Michigan State, but it would have been great to get him. If we don't, oh well, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's
Michigan State is a real coach now, so Pat Fitzgerald's a good coach. So
yeah. And we did offer Gash's brother. Gash's brother, I forget his name, is committed to Michigan State as well. So we did offer his brother, but I just think it's a long shot, to be honest with you.
Chris,
so
in high school, I ran against Alex Kenny in track.
Oh yeah,
Alex Kenny. I went to high
he
school
was
with Alex
a Massachusetts kid, but I remember him being like the fastest guy.
He went to State High.
He went to State High, yeah.
He went to my he was in my class.
I'm thinking someone else.
Yep.
He was like a 4.42 kid.
Yeah, dude. I ran to 200 against him a few times. It's not like I had no shot. I mean, he
he's a guy that fast, man.
People call the best comparison is he ran like a gazelle. His feet. I mean, dude, he was so natural, and half of his effort would probably still beat me in track. But I ran against him and Brady Garrett. Brady Garrett ran like a 45-second 400, which was like top 10 in America at the time or something like that.
Wow.
Ran the 400 against him. Yeah, and he went to Penn State, ran track at Penn State. So did Alex Kenny. And they both, I think, still have Penn State records in track. But Brady Garrett was on another level. And then Alex Kenny, like, dude, I remember the first time we were out in Altoona at Mansion Park, and I lined up next to him. We were in our blocks, and I'm just looking at him like, dude, let's see how bad you beat me. Like, I was actually interested to see how bad he beat me. He beat me by probably a good 10 meters at least. So,
you want to hear a funny story related to that? He was the quickest. He played when O'Brien was there, right? Kenny, wasn't he with O'Brien?
And I remember he got some playing time. Like, I remember I was up in the student section at one point, and he caught a pass across the middle. But yeah, I think it was O'Brien. Yes. Yeah.
You want to hear something funny related to that, and like fast guys? So, and I'll be quick. I'm not going to be long-winded with this. So, guess who played football in my backyard? I don't mean my backyard where I'm from. I'm literally worked out with somebody in my backyard. Rocket Ismail. Rocket and the Missile. They're from my area, right? So, quick story. I'm not going to bore you because it's not Penn State related. So, one of my brother's best friends, a guy named Frank Bauer. I went to Wyoming Valley West High School. My brother's 10 years older than me. Frank Bauer was 6'4", 220-pound quarterback. Big arm, had everything you needed for a Division I quarterback. He had an NFL arm, to be honest with you. And this is a kick in the ass, man. So scouts, but at the time in the 80s, the coach we had ran the ball like 90% of the game. Like Frank would throw the ball 3-4 times a game, and all these big scouts from like, not big scouts, but Virginia, Boston College, like the East schools would ask my dad, would see him, say, "What do you think of him?" And like, "I have no idea. I got to write a report for my coach, and he threw the ball 3 times all game." So because of that, he didn't get recruited by a lot of big schools. He ended up going to Lafayette, started as a true freshman at Lafayette. 1989, he was the quarterback, how they do that QBR rating, the nation's #1 quarterback in the country. #1. He was on every August, they come out with and he worked out because the missile and the rocket from my area, he worked out with them. And so every August, they come out with Sports Illustrated comes out with a college football edition, a preview edition. He was on the cover. They picked him, Frank Bauer, to be on the cover of the 1989 Sports Illustrated edition. He broke every record at Lafayette and still has it. And now back then, there were 14 rounds in the draft, but people didn't come out early. Like 89 was his junior year, and it wasn't as common for people to come out early. Some did. So this is crazy. So he, for some reason, education's important, blah, blah, blah. He stayed his senior year, and he hurt his throwing elbow. It wasn't serious. It was something along the lines. It wasn't tendonitis, but something-itis. And it wasn't anything serious. Didn't have as big a senior year as junior. So he had this big draft party. I was at his house. Didn't get drafted. I remember the next day, I'm this little punk kid. I'm whatever the hell. They're 10 years older than me. I'm probably like, I don't know, 11 years old. Frank called. I said, "You get drafted?" He goes, "Nope." So him and my brother went out, got hammered. A couple of days later, New York Giants called Frank in to be to try out as a free agent. Now, at the time, you guys are younger. The Giants at the time had Phil Simms and Jeff Hostetler, and that's back when they had a quarterback controversy. It is actually the year Giants won the Super Bowl where Scott Norwood for the Bills missed the field goal. So you had Hostetler and Simms, and then Frank and 2 veteran quarterbacks. They were keeping 3. Well, Hostetler and Simms were making the team, and then it was between 3 other quarterbacks. They cut Frank. One of the Bill Parcells, and one of the other coaches showed the draft board from the year before and said, "Frank, you are going to be our number. Why didn't you come out the year before? You were going to be our 1st round pick." They picked like middle. They're going to be the 1st round pick the year before, but then they picked up another quarterback and got a little scared off of his injury, and that was it. How crazy is that? Like the right time and place. Bill Parcells literally told them, he said, "Frank, you got the arm strength, the size, and the talent to play in the NFL, but it's not going to be with the Giants." Yeah, but he's my brother's best friend. And that's like, it just goes to show you right time, right place, all that stuff. Yep. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent.
No, you're good, man. Well, one last thing, and then we can probably hop off. But similar thing, but it's not Penn State, but Taylor Mays, man. He decapitated Jordan Norwood in the Rose Bowl. The guy had like 8x8 inch bricks as abs. Like he was a freak.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude. He was so good. But Pete Carroll, in all his wisdom, he convinced Taylor Mays to come back to USC for a year rather than go to the draft. He would have been a top 10 pick. Comes back, and I don't know where he was drafted, but it did not work out. But I mean, some of these kids, like, I was always of the belief, like, if you can go to the NFL, you're going to be a high draft pick. You need to go because you can always come back and get your degree if you don't already have it. There's really, like, if you're a top 10 pick, like Aller last year, probably should have gone to the NFL, because I don't know where he would have been drafted, but he probably would have been fairly high.
I think the Notre Dame game killed him at the end there.
Yeah, probably.
It did, but I think this season killed him more. Is a problem.
Oh, well, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
It stinks for him, man, because like we talked about it a couple times, but he's a good kid, and you feel for him. He had like the worst possible situation happen to him. with Franklin giving up on him on his team and getting injured. Just awful.
He gets, to me, and it's something my dad said, he gets a ton of credit for never leaving Penn State. Like, looking back on it now, like, bro, why did you stay at Penn State under Frankie Boy? You know, you should have left.
He gave it a shot because the whole team was all in. So you can't. It's hard not to see that. Like, we all saw it. We all thought we were going to be good.
The thing he's lucky with is this is probably the worst quarterback class I could remember.
Yeah.
So that could really help him. Like, he's not in a class loaded with quarterback, like top quarterbacks. I mean, honestly, after Mendoza, it's a crapshoot. And I after Mendoza, I don't know if any of these guys are first round talents, to be honest with you. All the guys that are supposed to be good, Drew, Kate Klubnik, Nussmeier, they all just went down. Hell, none of them had, you know,
they do it every year, Chris. They push these quarterbacks into the first round when they don't need to be, but they're quarterbacks, and teams, like, they need quarterbacks. They hype them up. Like Dwayne Haskins, to me, not a first round quarterback. And there's several examples, but like the Panthers should have taken C.J. Stroud, I think, over Bryce Young. I mean, Bryce Young's like 5 foot tall. And then the Raiders, even Mendoza, man, like I don't know. Like, he has. It's gonna be interesting to see what Mendoza does in the NFL, because it's like, he kept doing it in college, and he does kind of have that it factor, and he's good under pressure, but there's just something about him. He doesn't seem like he's going to be this high level guy, you know, like how high, you know, what's he going to be, but we'll see. He's going to have that hope there in the locker room with him just to keep that thing together. He's going to be like catching on fire when he walks in.
Yeah.
The Raiders are
Listen, there's some other positions. I know you said you want to wrap up, but there's other positions we could talk about real quick in recruiting if you want, that we didn't really touch on.
Right. Like, you can hop off if you want.
What's up?
You can hop off if you want.
I was just saying there's other positions in recruiting we didn't touch on here.
Yep.
Yeah, my eyes are killing me. That's why I put these on. They're killing me right now.
Chris, I could talk for like 9 hours, man. So.
All right. No, I'm not going to go on forever. I'm just going to touch on some of the other positions. That's all.
Yep.
What do the people in the chat want? Does the chat want to hear more about recruiting and some of the other positions? Like, press 1 if yes, 2 for no. That's what my one buddy always does. One if yes to hear more about recruiting, 2 if no. Because I'm pretty into this, so I got the beat on it.
Just give him a quick rundown, Chris.
All right. Well, I was just waiting for you guys to give me the heads up. My fucking pants are getting stuck on this thing.
I have a question for you. Do the Pest and PA go to Notre Dame? Do the Pest and PA go to Notre Dame?
They go. Notre Dame gets guys from everywhere. They shouldn't go to Notre Dame, but whatever. They get some. They don't. You know, they got Joey O'Brien because Franklin didn't want to pay him.
We got
Fuck Notre Dame. All right, so here we'll go. I know you guys touch on this linebacker. Well, let me just start by this, giving you the lowdown, okay? I'll try to be quick. So there's a different approach with Campbell compared to Franklin. I don't know if it's going to be a better approach, but there's a different approach. The main difference for the people that don't follow recruiting closely, the main difference, when we just had our junior days last weekend. Junior days is supposed to be one of the biggest recruiting weekends of the year, okay? And that's where you're supposed to bring all your top targets in. Now, under Franklin, he would bring 30, 40, a whole crap load of every top target in the region, and even some guys out of the region that were interested. Campbell's approach is different. Campbell would rather, instead of bringing all these top targets in, he would rather bring in 8 to 10 guys or so, 11 guys, 12 guys. He would rather keep it a smaller group to where he prioritizes them more and gives them more one-on-one, just more one-on-one with them, and keep it a lot more formal. I don't know what I can't hear that back noise. I don't know what he's. But anyways, there's an echo. But anyways, so I don't know what's going to be better or not. It sounds good that you have it more one-on-one and more formal. But the problem with that is if you miss on some of these guys you're prioritizing, like what if you could have, they always have a board by position, like receiver, linebacker, quarterback, whatever. Boom. Here's our top guy. Boom. Here's our next guy. Here's our next guy. Here's our next guy. Okay. If let's say you're going after I don't know. Let's say you're going after a receiver. You have top 3 guys on your receiver board, and then right below that you got guys 4, 5, 6. Well, let's say maybe you bring in the top 3 guys, and you get maybe one of them only. But let's say if you brought in guys 1 through 6, well, let's say what if guys 4 or 5 did want to hop in? Well, now you got 2 other solid receivers you could hop in, but being if you're not going to prioritize them, you could be left out in the cold a little bit, so to speak. And you could always play the game where a lot of people do, where you invite guys in and you keep them on the line, you keep them interested, and you get them interested in you. And if they want to commit on the spot, and schools do this, you could tell them, hold off a little bit. It's a numbers game for us. Be honest, there's a couple other guys we have a little ahead of you, but we really like you. We want you, but it's just a numbers game where we can only take so much at this position. So let's just hold off for a little bit, and we'll stay in touch and see what you could do that. And right. Peter Bork, quarterback, is a perfect example. So they're going all in on Peter Bork. Peter Bork, in my opinion, is the best quarterback prospect they've recruited in a long time. I think Peter Bork has more upside and is a better prospect than what Drew Aller was and even Ethan Grunkenmeyer. He's committed to Michigan. With the coaching change, I don't know what's going to happen, but supposedly Penn State and this new staff met with Bork. They're in a very good position with Peter Bork. He's still saying a lot of nice things, trying to reaffirm his commitment with Michigan and the new staff. But word is, Penn State's also in a very good position. Now, Israel Abrams was the number 3 dual threat quarterback in the country. Israel Abrams, when they were at Iowa State, was going to commit to Iowa State. He visited there 100 times. I mean, Abrams himself said Iowa State was the leader. When Matt Campbell came to Penn State, every fan, even the insiders, were all saying we're going to get Abrams. He's definitely going to offer Abrams. He has yet to offer Israel Abrams. And the kid's good. Like, the kid is good. Consensus high 4-star, number 3 dual threat quarterback in the country. Now, the reason they haven't offered him is because they have Peter Bork and another 4-star quarterback, Will Menzel from Arizona, ahead of Israel Abrams. Keegan Croucher was ahead of them too, but they're not getting Keegan Croucher. Like, Keegan Croucher, I think he put out a finals list, didn't even include Penn State. So here's the thing. You got this Will Menzel out in Arizona. Supposedly Taylor Mauser has a lot of connections in Arizona. I don't know why. Whatever, if he's from there, but for whatever the reason, he has good Arizona connections. Menzel also got offers from Oregon, Auburn. Is he going to come all the way across the other side of the country to go to Penn State? I don't know. I don't think we're the favorite, but that's who they're targeting. Peter Bork, Will Menzel. Now, Peter Bork could be a long shot for him to flip from he would be my number 1 guy. Could be a long shot getting him to flip from Michigan. Let's say he doesn't flip. Let's say Will Menzel, they can't get him up for a visit. He wants to stay somewhere a little closer or on the West Coast. Then what? What do you do then? Now you could have had Israel Abrams, who they loved at Iowa State. They're going to take at Iowa State. Now you're left holding the bag. And yes, and everybody thinks, there's like this one guy said, they got offers out to all these other courts. I'm talking about top guys. I'm not talking about a Division III Connor Barry. Like, just because there's a body that plays a position doesn't mean, I'm talking about top guys. So it's a different recruiting philosophy. Not sure if I don't know how it's going to work out, because you're not going to get every single top guy you prioritize. Right. Offensive tackle, Davis Seaman. Davis Seaman's a rising 3-star offensive tackle from Ohio. I don't know if he has an Ohio State offer. Looks pretty good. Shows a lot of promise. Very aggressive, good run blocker, pretty athletic. His highlights haven't shown a ton of pass blocking. Jimmy Kalis, Terrence Smith, they're PA boys. They both got reoffered. I don't know if they're coming up for a visit. I know they were reoffered, but since then haven't heard much on Jimmy Kalis, Terrence Smith. I think offensive guard, our interior, we're looking really good. So you got Kyler Kuhn, Lucas Roa. Roa's a California kid, but Lucas Roa, I don't know if it was his father that played or went to Penn State. He has some kind of Penn State connection. Came up for a visit, loves Penn State. Kyler Kuhn, another kid, loves Penn State. And then you got the golden boy, Maxwell Heller. So Maxwell Heller is probably the best interior lineman. I think Maxwell Heller, if need be, could be a swing guy where he could play tackle or interior. But he's listed being recruited as an interior. He's going to be tough. Now, under the old staff, he loved Troutwine. He had a very good relationship with the old offensive line coach, Phil Troutwine. He was down in Florida for a visit this past weekend, not this weekend, the previous weekend or so. And in fact, I think Weltfong may have even put a pick in for him to go to Florida. But he also recently came, or Penn State's been on him. I don't know if he came for a visit or if it was Campbell that went and visited him. But the new staff is doing a very good job of building up a relationship again with Maxwell Heller. It's going to be a tough pull because he really likes Troutwine, and he's big on Alabama. Alabama's after him. Ohio State's after him. And this isn't some average four-star kid. Like, this is probably the top interior lineman in the country. From Coatesville, PA, hopefully we could get him. I touched on the receivers. I love Cade Cooper. I feel very good about Khalil Taylor. We'll see what's going to happen there. I do feel good about him. Past that, there's another kid from McKeesport, a receiver, Javian Robinson. I don't know if they reoffered. The old staff wasn't so high on him. He's another big-bodied receiver, 6'1", 6'2". I don't know what his testing numbers are, but for some reason the old staff wasn't too high on him. I do think this new staff is offered, but I haven't heard much on him. Where are we at? Defensive ends. And defensive end is interesting. So this is exactly what I mean about this. Like, what this new staff is doing is they're attacking a lot of guys in our recruiting region, in the Northeast, in the DMV, Maryland, Virginia, DC, Delaware. But they're not going after all of them. Now, on the flip side, because a lot of these coaches now have connections in the Midwest and out in California, like our UCLA coaches have connections out there. Obviously, we brought in. You're seeing offers going out to. We were offered a kid in Hawaii. That might be the first time I ever heard of Penn State offering a Hawaii kid. So that's good that you have those other connections. But under Franklin, what I would have liked to see is offer every single big-time recruit there is in your region. You offer them all. And you let the chips fall where they fall. Does that mean you could get them all? No. Does that mean you could even afford them all? No. But you offer them all. And I'll give you a perfect example. You could, if you want to put Chris Whitehead huddle highlights up. So this is one of the best defensive end prospect for 2027 in this region I've ever seen. I'm going to give you 4 names. Makai Brown, who plays in Massachusetts. It's Connecticut or Massachusetts. Makai Brown, high 4-star. Some people were talking about he could become a 5th-star. Abram Sessi from Downingtown, PA. James Pace, DeMatha, Maryland. Anthony Sweeney from Maryland, and Chris Whitehead from Virginia. We've offered Pace, Sesse, and Brown. They hardly pushed for Sweeney at all. Sweeney put out a finals list of my God, he had 12 or 14 schools. He did not include. Watch how quick off the ball and aggressive this kid is. You see the pop immediately. Well, it's skipping. Well, you could if it was skip. I don't know what, but it's skipping a little.
I don't know,
but it's all right. It's all right. It's you can try it again, whatever. But what I'm saying is, and there's this guy in the message board said, "Oh, well, maybe they could only afford one top defensive end." No, nobody goes out, and at least you shouldn't. Nobody goes out and recruits and says, "There's one big time D end that we're going to go after, and then we're just going to go get a bunch of developmental guys." Defensive ends, the top position on defense. It's a premium position. You don't just go after one top guy. You go after them all, and you let the chips fall where they fall. Chris Whitehead liked Penn State. He liked the previous staff. There was a relationship there. The new staff hasn't even offered. Again, and nobody likes me when I say negative stuff. I don't care. But I'm just being honest. Why would you not offer a kid to this level? You got a 6'4", 6'5", kid has a quick burst. He's aggressive. You can't teach that quick, explosive burst off the ball. You either have it or you don't. He's physical. He's got length. He's got a good burst. He can accelerate. He closes quick. Why would you not offer him? They don't offer him. When the previous staff liked him. Now, Mekhi Brown, Sessi, and James Pace they offered. James Pace is he's listed 6'3". I don't know if he's a full 6'3". He's like 6'2", 6'2.5", kid from DeMatha, very physical. He's like 225 pounds. I'm not sure of his length. His size could be a little bit of an issue, but very twitchy. He's a twitched up player. Is that him? Yeah, you can play high as him. Watch how quick this kid is. He's twitchy. He's not the biggest guy, but look at these guys' rankings. They're not.
Yeah,
we have to land at least two of these guys, and that's why I'm saying, you go all in for all. Well, it was 5 of 5 with Sweeney. If you went all in with 5 of them, you get 2 of them. That's a good class. That's a good class. You can see the pursuit. You can see the twitch. See that counter. See how quick he beat that guy inside. Yeah. See the pursuit, that twitch. That's not something you could teach. You see that twitch. You see how quick he is, how he gets after it. That is not something you could teach. Yep. The guy's an animal. He's an absolute animal. There's a highlight of him at a camp where he's just burying an offensive tackle that's probably has about 40 pounds on him. And, so I'd like to see him just be a little more aggressive at defensive tackle. There's 3 guys they're not going after. They should. So Chris Whitehead, the other top running back in 2027 after Spell is Isaiah Rodgers. Again, last staff had a pretty good rapport with Isaiah Rodgers. There's a relationship there. We're not pushing hard for Isaiah Rodgers. He's a kid from Providence, Rhode Island, Springfield, Massachusetts. Very good running back, legit 4-star. He's leaning Indiana because Indiana's pushing. We're not pushing hard for him. Don't know why. And then the last guy I want to talk about is Joseph Buchanan. Joseph Buchanan is a defensive tackle from McDonough. He's easily the best defensive tackle in the region. Again, not really pushing hard for him. Don't know why. But we are probably going to flip. They just came on a visit. Stanley Montgomery, who is he's from Philly. He goes to the Archbishop in Philly. 6'3", 290. On 3 has him at 290. 24/7 has him at 300. Typical big body defensive tackle that Danton Lynn and the new D-line coach likes. He's only a 3-star, but he has a lot of promise. He put up big numbers in Philly, a lot of tackles. He had 19 tackles for loss. He had 8 sacks. And just strong kid. He holds up well at the point of attack. He could take on a double team. He could cave in the line. He has a very good bull rush. Obviously, he's going against high school kids. A guy like that size should be able to bull rush. But he moves pretty well for a big guy. And he's right in line with the typical big-bodied, one-tech type defensive tackles that the new coaches like. So that's pretty much what I got with the recruiting for 27.
Chris, one more guy that I wanted to ask you about, this David Gabriel. That's another kid you mentioned.
Yeah, we're not – hold on. That was in reply to Joe in the chat. We're not getting him. We're not even going after him. We have a group chat, and one of the guys that comes on, Joe Kurtz, was asking me about David Gabriel or something. I said, yeah, he's like number 2 to spell. Penn State's not going after him. We have no chance at him. He's in Ohio State lean. They're not even. We're all in on spell. This kid is a stud. That David Gabriel, he is right there with. He's right there with Keemon Spell. They are without a doubt 1-1-2. To me, they're like 1-1A. We're not going to get him. Oh, it is. But I'll tell you what. Do me a favor. Go to Kelvin Morrison. Kelvin Morrison huddle. Go to Kelvin Morrison's sophomore huddle. Kelvin Morrison is unranked. He's from Hermitage, PA. He is unranked by On3, and he's like an 87, 88 on 24/7. This is the best running back people aren't talking about. He is the most now click on highlights. Well, all right. Well, I was trying to tell you to go to his but all right. Watch his second and fourth run here. Just play this. I'll show you. This kid reminds me of a Journey Brown, how he was underrated and unknown. I'm not saying he's going to be, but his acceleration and speed is off the charts. And you could probably even enlarge this. Now watch the second run. Right after his punt return, watch how quick he gets to the hole and separates from the defense. Watch this. Of course, it stalls, and so if you want to go back, but this kid is being slept on.
Chris, if I enlarge it, then it like buffers.
Then don't. That's fine. Gone. Look at that. Look at him separate. That is elite speed. That is elite speed. And I'm gonna show you one more. Not this next play, but the play after. This is how much I watch film. I could have them memorized. This kid got offers from Miami, Ohio State, Florida, Tennessee, and he was at Penn State this weekend. So this is the same play. Watch his explosion and acceleration. He outruns the camera. Look at gone. You see how quick fast he is?
Had an angle on him. Holy crap!
Do you see how fast he is? So go to his sophomore highlights. There's a run I want to show you on his sophomore highlights.
Is this?
You got it. I would go to you should have clicked on highlights up above and it would have displayed it. Just go.
Gotcha.
Okay, now just somewhere, if you scroll through, it'll say sophomore highlights somewhere.
Does it let you go to the next one?
Just go all the way up. Just go to highlights all the way up.
Right here.
Sophomore highlights. Now, I think this is, I forget where it's at. It's around like the 130 mark. Go to like 129. And he averaged 9 yards a carry last year. I just want to show you this one run. It was incredible how quick he accelerated. But if you want to go to the 129 mark.
129, okay.
Yeah. See if I can pull it up here.
Man.
Is that where he ran through? Okay, that's the play. Go back and play that. Watch when he plants his foot in the ground. They're in red. Watch when he plants his foot in the ground. Watch this. That's elite. That is Journey Brown type stuff right there. That's Journey Brown stuff. So this is now. Yeah, like I'm not saying he's as fast as Journey Brown, but do you see the acceleration on this kid? He's not as good as Keemon Spell because he doesn't have Keemon Spell's physicality, and like this kid's 5'11", 185. He has to get stronger and fill out. But I will tell you this. From an acceleration standpoint, just explosiveness, speed, I would bet you he's just as fast as Keemon Spell, if not faster. Not saying he's as good, but this kid is being slept on. He went to some camp called the Battle of Miami. and he was one of the top running backs down there. And you don't get offers like, I'll give you an example, like that Deontay Sheffield we got. And I like Sheffie's a nice back. But you look at Sheffie's offers list, not a lot of big-time schools. You look at this kid, because they're both 3-stars. You look at this kid's offers list, like I said, Penn State, Ohio State, Miami, Florida, Tennessee, Iowa. Those offers aren't coming from nowhere for no reason. This kid is good. This kid. Now, in college, he has to bulk up. He has to get stronger. He has to, run more physical. But from a pure speed and explosion standpoint, man, he's not going to get caught from behind. But some of those runs I showed you, man, like they just I showed it to my friend. He said my hair stood up on that run.
Well,
but
one thing that really stood out to me was the Gabriel kid, because he is very quick. But like there's certain players that you go back and watch and you're like, holy crap, dude. But you and to finish up here, Chris, because we're going
no
pretty
problem.
long here. Nick Singleton, he was quick, man, but how he was the number one, the Gatorade National Player of the Year, the number one back, like I don't know, but you're right. He just didn't have much vision. You know what I mean? And so
I called Nick Singleton before anybody. I got trashed on these message boards because I said Nick Singleton doesn't have a jump cut, and people made fun of me. Like, well, first of all, this is what you get with fans that are biased and sunshine pumpers. It was a tight recruiting battle. He was this close to going to Notre Dame. We just won his recruitment. Everybody's high on him. So of course the kid could, he's God. He can't do anything wrong because, he's a Penn State player now. You can't have any negativity. I watched Nick Singleton. I have scouted these guys for years. Okay, I'm nothing special. I'm not a pro scout, but you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to look for and do player evaluations. And I watched Nick Singleton, and they would do these quarterback dive in high school. It was like these like quarterback dive deep pitches. And he would take this pitch, he would take a pitch, and he would just outrun everybody. Outrun. And if he ran between the tackles, it's just putting his head down, running over a guy, and just outrunning a guy. And I said on the message board, I said, listen, the guy's got great size, strong, very explosive, fast. I said, but he doesn't have the ability to make anybody miss. I said, the one thing that's going to hurt him, and I use the word jump cut because, today jump cuts, like back in the day, we use the word juke when you juke somebody. And that's all I was trying to say. I said, he doesn't have the lateral movement to be able to juke a guy and just simply make a defender miss. In college, you're not going to be able to just outrun everybody. You're not going to be able to run over everybody. Mm-hmm. I remember offensive line videos when people would explain RPO blocking and our zone blocking a lot of times. And I'm not saying I'm an offensive line expert by no means, but I always remember videos back in the day where they would say how different people from the offensive line is responsible for this guy, that guy in defense, where the running on a run play, where there's usually one free guy, where the running back is responsible to make that guy. The running back is responsible to make the first guy miss. And I'm thinking, how's Nick Singleton going to make that first guy miss when he doesn't have any lateral movement? He doesn't have any jukes. He's just going to lower his head every time. People jumped all over me like I was, and sure enough, 3-4 years later, they're all saying, wow, how'd you see that, Paul? Well, it was easy to see. I would compare Nick Singleton's. I would watch film on Nick Singleton, and then I would watch film on other top backs around his time. I'd watch Omari and Hampton. I'd watch Travion Henderson. I'd watch even Katron Allen. Every one of them had lateral movement. Every one of them could run to an opening. He was the only guy. I've never seen a guy that just wanted to run straight and put his head down so much.
Yeah,
whatever.
I didn't get it. I did not understand yeah, he just didn't have the best vision. But
Horrible.
Chris, thanks for coming on, man. I think we covered just about everything, but I'll talk to you real quick when we get off. And then you guys, thank you for coming on. Thank you for the comments. It's good to have Chris back on. Chris will be on here. Whether you guys think he's negative or whatever it is, doesn't matter. Chris is going to come on here and talk. So you guys
I just call it like I see it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not negative, man. Like, you just give your opinion. That's it. Like, and you see you like the recruiting. Like, I agree with you in the sense that, yeah, they're just big guys and they're not going after them. So it's like, why aren't they doing that? Like, I would like to know.
It's just a few of them. They're going after a majority, 90% of them. There's just a few of them they didn't go after. Look, I was on the Big Ten huddle, right? And like, we're talking about the portal. And I'll be quick. And I was saying how great of a job Campbell was doing. And he brought in so many good guys and good fit. And I was going through the players. I said, but I could say 5 very positive things, right? But then I said one negative thing about he's not making a big splash going after any big name guys. One negative thing compared to 5 positive things. And there was some guy there's guys in the comment section. There's guys in the comment section saying, "Oh, this is a lot better. You're a lot more positive. I didn't like last time when you were judging Campbell already. You were his recruiting." I said, like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, my God, like grow, if people can't hear the truth about their team or their situation, you're only lying to yourself. You're lying. Mm-hmm. I get nothing out of I call it like a fantasy pep rally. Like, I'd be on a message board and we have a big game coming up versus Ohio State when we might be like a double-digit underdog. And I'd be like, this is going to be a tough game, man. They got this advantage, that, and I'd have people that would sit there and tell me, well, with an attitude like that, we're not going to win. Am I playing the game? I didn't know I was playing the game. Like,